Welcome to AIMS India's online classes. So today from our science subject and from the lesson Air and Water, so we are going to learn about water. Yes children, so in previous sessions we learnt about air and in today's session we will go to learn about water. Okay children, so water, as we know, it is very important for us, no, so very important for our living, for the survival of all the living beings, and we learn about water in detail now. So like air, water is also essential for the survival of living things. We need water for drinking, cooking, bathing, and etc. Okay, and it is very important that we drink clean and pure water. See children, as we said, like air is also very important for us to live. Again, water is also very important for us to live. For us in the sense, all the living things. Okay children, and we use water for different purposes. No, so mostly the main needs are like for drinking, like for cooking and for bathing. No, so we are having so many other activities where we include water. No, and we also give water to the plants, all. So many extra activities which are included with water. And when we drink water, so we have to remember that we have to drink a clean and pure water. No, because again water, it contains some of impurities. So if we drink the water that is which is impure, that is going to cause harm for our health. So we have to drink very clean and pure water. Okay children, even bathing also we have to, we have to take a clean water for bathing and cooking also. But for drinking, we have to take care of its cleaning and of its purity. Clear children? And now rainwater, rivers, ponds, lakes and wells are some main sources of water. So how do we get water children? So we get through so many sources. What are they? Rainwater, rivers, ponds, lakes, wells. No, so these are the main sources which give us water, where we get water from. Okay, and water from these sources contain substance as sand, dirt and gems, which make the water impure and thus unfit for us. So as we said before, that water, it is not pure in its original form, in the sense when rainwater or river water, pond water, lake water, so it doesn't, it doesn't have any purity. So it contains some substances like sand, dirt, gems and all that. Okay, so because of that, what happens? The water becomes impure. And when we take it directly, when we take that water directly without purifying, then it is going to harm us. So that is not fit to us, in the sense to the living things. Okay, so we have to purify the water and drink it, especially human beings. Okay children, so animals, birds, plants, they can take the impure water. But for human beings, so it is very important to take only pure and clean water for drinking. Clear children? Okay now water needs to be purified to make it fit for human consumption. So water that is fit for human consumption is called potable water. So as we said, for human beings, water need to be purified. It has to be get cleaned. Okay, and human consumption in the sense like what we take for drinking and eating. No, that is known as consumption. Okay children, and water that is fit for human consumption is called potable water. In the sense like our drinking water or cooking water, we call it as potable water. In the sense it is fit for human consumption. In the sense, we can take that water, we can use that water in for our drinking or for our cooking purposes. Clear, children? So what is that we have learned here, that water is very much important for us. No, and it is not pure. It is not pure when it comes from the rain, rivers, oceans, seas, and all that. And for especially human beings, we have to get purified and clean water for drinking and cooking purposes. Okay, children? So that water which is fit for human consumption is called as potable water. Clear? Now we learn about the water impurities. Okay, children? So things that make the water impure are called impurities. Okay, so what are impurities? Which make the water impure. Okay, like if we have some dust, if we have some sand, any other germs or such type of substances, then that water becomes impure. No. So the things, in the sense here, the sand, germs, mud, whatever it is there which is making the water impure, those things are called as impurities. Okay, children? And impurities can be soluble or insoluble. Impurities can be soluble or insoluble. What do you mean by soluble, children? Which are going to dissolve in the water. No. So which is going to dissolve in the water. Insoluble in the sense which are not going to be dissolved in the water. So impurities, they can be soluble. They can also be insoluble. Okay. So insoluble purities are the ones that do not dissolve in water, as we said, which are not going to dissolve in water. Okay, soluble impurities are the ones that dissolve in water. What are solubles? Which can dissolve in water. So we learn what are they. Okay, children, and how we can remove this insoluble impurities from water. So this is the meaning, like a word for consumption. Word for consumption is eating or drinking. Removing insoluble impurities from water. Insoluble impurities such as sand and mud can be removed by sedimentation and decantation and filtration methods. See, children, insoluble impurities, in the sense which cannot be dissolved in water. So what are they? Like sand and mud. Okay, so these are not able to dissolve. Okay, so this can be removed from water by three methods. Okay, by three methods, that is sedimentation, decantation and filtration. Okay, so what is sedimentation actually? Sedimentation is which is going to settle down. No, which is going to come down. The whatever substance it is there, it is going to settle down. Decantation is which is going to separate. No, which separates from the mixture, whatever ingredient is there. Okay, and filtration is what? It is going to separate the solids from the liquid. Okay, so we are going to learn about this. What are they? Sedimentation, decantation and filtration. So through these three methods, impurities which are insoluble can be removed. Okay, children? Now we'll do some exercises here. So to understand the process of sedimentation and decantation. So as we said, what is sedimentation? In the sense which is going to settle down. Okay, and what is decantation, children? Which is going to separate the mixtures. No, separates, like I'll just write it here. Okay, yes. So to understand this this process of sedimentation and decantation, we'll do one activity here. And what do you need? You need two beakers, one glass rod, sand and water. Okay, so two beakers. So these are the beakers actually. Beakers in the sense like a container, children. So what did we do in this, the first container? So at the bottom there is sand. No, again there is water. No, there is water. So here, if you see, they have taken two beakers. No, so first of all, when the water, suppose when the rain water has occurred, so it also includes some very small, minute sand and some other particles along with the water. The rain is going to occur. Okay, so what happens, the water is mixed, all the particles and water is mixed here. No, and when it is going to kept as it is for some time, so what is all the sand and all the dust what is there, it is going to settle down at the bottom, and only the pure water is going to float above that sand. So as you can see here in the picture, see, all the sand has settled down, and above that you can see the water, no, which is having no dust or no sand. No, so this is like a sedimentation. This is called as sedimentation. Like, see, so the sand and mud has been settled down and the clean water has come up. No, just when we are pouring it into the other beak, no, only the pure water is coming out of the first beak. Okay, children. So this is sedimentation. So try to do this, children. So take the beaker as I have explained in the before slide. Again, the procedure. Take a beaker containing the mixture of sand and water. Okay. So use the glass rod to mix the contents and leave the beaker undisturbed for some time. So what happens? So you take the water which is a mixture of sand. No, you always, if you take some sand and just mix it with the water, okay, and you just mix it and leave the beaker, in the sense the container, leave the beaker undisturbed in the sense without moving, you leave it. Why we asked you to take the glass rod? Because it is transparent and it is visible for us. Now you can see the contents of that glass clearly. Now, so that you can understand the where the mud is and where the water is. Okay, children. So that is why we asked you to take the glass rod. So after mixing the content, you leave the beaker undisturbed, that is without moving for some time. So what happens? The heavier sand particles will settle at the bottom of the beaker as shown is the figure. No. So what happens? The heavier sand particles, sand is having weight. Sand has weight. That sand particles which are of heavy weight, they are going to settle at the bottom of the beaker. No, as we have seen in the picture here. No, they are going to settle here. No, children. So again, what happens? This water, now water is going to come up. Water is going to come up and the sand is going to remain down. And this process is called as sedimentation. That is settling down. The heavier particles going to settling down in the water. Clear, children? And now, without disturbing the sediment of sand, carefully drain out only the clear water into another beaker as shown in the figure. So what we do after, after getting all the sand settled down at the bottom, so without disturbing, in the sense without again mixing the sand, so carefully you have to just pour, in the sense drain only the clear water into the another beaker, another container. So as it is there in the figure, and this is called as decantation. Decantation is like we are separating the mixture of water and sand. No, we are just separating the water from the sand. Clear, children? And the process of separating solid particles from a liquid medium using a filter paper is known as filtration. And what is filtration, children? So we are separating the solid particles in the sense which are not in liquid form. That solid is here what? Like here our solid is what? Sand. No, sand is our solid particle. So separating this solid particle from a liquid medium, like from water or something, using a filter paper is known as filtration. So for example, children, so when we prepare any tea, coffee, what we do, we'll take a filter. No, we'll take a filter to just filter that. When we filter that, what happens? Like whatever tea powder, coffee powder is there, that remains in the filter, only the liquid content. Only the liquid content, that is in the milk form, that is going to separate. No. So whereas the tea powder, coffee powder, all these are water like solid. No, I mean tea powder is specially solid than coffee. Okay, so this is called as filtration. Even when we pour water in our pot also, we'll just have a net. No, we'll just have a mesh type of net, so that when we pour it, if there is any solid content or any dust particle, it is going to be filtered. Okay, children. So that is called as filtration. Clear? Yes. So what is sedimentation? Sedimentation is nothing but like settling down, the all heavier particles settling down, and decantation is separating the mixture, and filtration is separating solid particles from a liquid medium. Clear, children? Yes. Now there is one more activity here. So here we are going to understand the process of filtration. Filtration. What is that? So you need again 2 beakers, one glass rod, filter papers, funnel, soil and water. See here. Okay. So here you are just making a funnel, I mean filter paper through, this is the filter paper actually. This is the filter paper which is in round shape. This is the first step. Second step is you are going to make it as a cone shape. Second one. No, so see here, third stage and the fourth stage. No, how you are going to filter? So this is the filtration process that we will look it up. So procedure is take some soil in a beaker and add some water to it. Okay, so as before experiment, you take some soil in a beaker and then just add some water to it. So then use a glass rod to mix the contents. Use a glass rod. You can take any type of stick or some other thing, children, which is in lightweight, to mix the contents. Okay, and take a filter paper and make a cone as shown in the adjacent pictures. Here, see what is adjacent in the sense like the next to. So as we have said, so this is the first one, again this is the second one, then third and then fourth. Okay, this is how you make the cone. Like this is how you make the cone of the filter paper. And now place the paper cone in the funnel. Now place the funnel on the mouth of another beaker. What we have to do now? Place the paper cone in the funnel. Now you have to place the paper cone in the funnel, and now place the funnel on the mouth of another beaker. See, children, here. Okay, so this is the filter paper, no, which is made as a cone. Okay, now we are placing this to the beaker. This is the beaker. Okay, now gently pour the mixture of soil and water over the filter paper. Now what you are going to do? You are going to slowly pour the mixture of soil and water over the filter paper. You will notice clear water dripping through the funnel into the beaker while notice clear water dripping through the funnel into the beaker while soil particles get retained in the filter paper. Okay, children, so what will happen when you do this procedure? What will happen when you are going to pour this mixture which is with what, which is added with water and sand? No, water and sand. When you pour it, what happens? only the water is going to drip out from that funnel. Okay, this is the funnel actually. We have placed this paper filter, that is filter paper, in this funnel, and only the water is dripping down. So whatever sand is there, it is remaining in the filter only. Clear, children? Okay, so as I said, like tea and all that, like how do you filter? And the clear water that gets collected in the beaker after passing through the filter paper is called the filtrate. The clear water. So what is remained, children, after filtering? The clear water is collected in the beaker and after passing through the filter paper. This is known as filtrate. That is the filter water. Okay, children. So now we have got the clear water. This is the clear water, that is the filtrate. Clear? So what we have learnt, that through filtration we are going to separate the solids from the liquids. Here the solid is what? The sand. Liquid is what? The water. Clear, children? Hope you have understood this, and please try to do these activities at your home. Clear? Now, applications of filtration in daily life. Like how do we use these filtrations in our daily life? Children, not only for drinking, we also use filtrations in so many things. We apply this filtration with so many things in our daily life. Like what are they? So vacuum cleaners have filters to trap dust particles. Vacuum cleaners, you know, children, what are vacuum cleaners? So they are equipment or a machine which we use to clean the dust. Okay, so these vacuum cleaners, they have got filters to trap dust particles. In the sense, they have got filters to catch all the dust particles. So if you just on the vacuum cleaner, so all the dust, it is going to catch it, it is going to absorb all the dust, okay, into its tube. Clear, children? And now water taps usually have filters to purify water. So water taps, water taps, children, you can see like you will have filters in the sense like small holes type of filters. They contain, why? To just purify the water. Okay, and coffee makers have filters to keep coffee grounds out of coffee. Now coffee grounds, in the sense nothing but like coffee seeds. Okay, so these coffee seeds, even we separate these coffee seeds and we get coffee through the filters. Okay, children? And air conditioners have filter to trap the dust particles in the air. Even air conditioners, like as we use in our homes, ACs, okay, they also have filters so that the dust particles which are in the air, that do not enter into the air condition machine. Okay, so this is how we use filtrations in our daily life. Clear, children? Where do we use them? We use them in vacuum cleaners, we use them in water taps, we use in coffee makers, we use in air conditioners. Okay, so all this, even when we wash vegetables and all that also, like we'll just keep a filter, a mesh type of container, and we'll keep the vegetables in that container and we'll pour water. What happens? All the water is going to come out and only the vegetables are going to remain in the container. So it is not exactly like filtration, but what I am able to make you to understand is like, so we are just removing the liquid from the solid through this filtration. Clear, children? Now as we can see in the picture here, like we talked about the vacuum cleaner. No, so here it is this machine, and this part, it is going to trap, in the sense catch the dust particles, absorb the dust particles. And now water tap, see here. Oh no, we are having all small holes here. No, see here, all these, they are the filters. Okay, now here coffee filter. Coffee filter. So here you can see inside this container the coffee powder or coffee grounds, where when you pour the water, what happens? So the water is going to come out. Okay, and this solid substance, maybe grounds or a powder, it is going to remain in this only. Clear? Now air conditioner, ACs. So these are the filters where the air impurities, in the sense whatever dust particles are there in the air, so they are going to trap them. Clear, children? So that they do not enter inside the machine and get the machine spoiled. Clear? Now, so we learn about removing insoluble impurities from water. Yes, children. So until now we learnt about removing insoluble impurities. Now let us learn about the soluble impurities. Like how do we remove soluble impurities from water? Okay. So the soluble impurities in water can be removed by evaporation and distillation methods. Okay, children, soluble impurities like which are going to dissolve, which are going to mix up with the water, okay, that can be removed by evaporation and distillation methods. Okay, two methods. So for here example, common salt, we can also call it as sodium chloride. So where do we get this common salt, children? This is going to be extracted from sea water by the process of evaporation under the sun. So this sea water, now because of this sea water we are getting salt. So normally salt is extracted. Extract is nothing but taken out from the sea water and ocean water. So that is why we say that sea water and ocean water are very salty, because that ocean or sea water contains sodium chloride, that is the common salt. Okay, children, and how do we separate this salt from the water is through the process of evaporation under the sun. So because of this heat which is generated from the sun, and evaporation takes place takes place with the water, and we'll get the common salt. Okay, children, so we learn this through a activity. And here, so what is our aim? To understand the process of obtaining salt from sea water by evaporation. Okay, so how do we get salt from the sea water by evaporation? That we are going to perform here, that experiment. Okay, children, now what we need is, we need a shallow dish, we need a salt water and a Bunsen burner. Okay, so shallow dish is nothing but a dish, children, which is a little deep, and where we have taken salt water, and there is a Bunsen burner. Bunsen burner is like a small burner, which is like a small gas stove or any other stove, where we can light the flame. Okay, children, and not what we have to do with that. So first procedure is to set up the apparatus as shown in the picture. So just like you have to place this as we have shown in the picture. You have to place the dish, and in down to that dish you have to place a burner. No, you have to place a dish and apparatus. Apparatus is nothing but a tool. It's just like a tool, okay, where you can place the dish above it, and down to it you have to place the burner, children, and add salt water to the shallow dish and heat it till the water evaporates. So what you have to do, you have to add the salt water to the dish and you have to heat it. You have to heat, okay, until what? Until the water evaporates. Evaporates in the sense where water is going to go out through the form of water vapor, and all the water has to be taken out. Okay, so what happens is, as the water evaporates, we can see salt getting deposited along with the inner walls of a dish. So children, what happens as it gets heated? So we can see the salt like white color substance getting deposited along with the inner walls of the dish. See here, now it is there with the water. Once the water is heated and all the water is evaporated, in the sense it is going out into the air through the form of water vapor. So at the to the walls of the dish, we can see the salt getting deposited in the sense like remaining, now putting down or placing it. Okay, so even in your daily life also, children, suppose if we have kept water for heating or for anything on the stove, and for long time, and we have not observed it, or we have not switched off the light in time, so all the water in that container is going to be evaporate, and only a white colored substance is going to be remained in the dish. No, so that is called is what, like the evaporation. No, evaporation. So this, what happened, this process is called as distillation. So this process, in the sense where we have separated a pure liquid from a mixture of liquids due to the difference in their boiling points. Okay, so distillation is the process that can be used to separate a pure liquid from a mixture of liquids due to the differences in their boiling points. Okay, so even salt is also a liquid when it is mixed in the water. No, it is mixed in water. So that is why we said we are going to separate a pure liquid, or like a pure liquid from a mixture of liquids due to the differences in their boiling point. So when you boil that mixture of liquids, which is also added with the salt, only the water is going to evaporate, but the salt is going to remain. No, and this process is called as distillation. Okay, children, clear? Now here, so again you have one more process, children, which we do it in the laboratories, that is in science labs and all that. So what is that? That the process involves the following steps which we do in the laboratories. How do they do? They make this impure water, like they'll make it pure. No, even we get this filter waters and all that in machineries and through machines and all that. Like how do they do is that? So impure water is heated in a round bottom flask. See here in the picture you have got a round bottom flask. No, and this is heated. See here, this is the burner, and you have given the flame here, and this round bottom flask is heated in the picture. Okay, and now water evaporates to form water vapor, and the impurities are left behind. So water evaporates. So water is going to evaporate. Water is going to evaporate to form water vapor, and the impurities are left behind. Water vapor passes through the condenser and cools down to form water. See children, so this is the condenser. This is the condenser here. Okay, so what is the condenser, children? Condenser is just like a tool, a device, so which is used to transfer heat from the liquid. Okay, so this is the heated liquid. No, because after getting heated, this heated liquid is in the form of water vapor, and this is passed through this condenser. Okay, children, this is passed through this condenser. See, this is water out, and this is cool water in. Cool water, this is water out, in the sense the hot water out, cool water is in. Clear? Now what happened? Water vapor passes through the condenser and cools down to form water. So whatever water vapor is passed, it is going to cool down. After getting cool, it is going to form as water. Okay, pure water is collected in a separate container. See children here, so as we have seen, after getting condensed, the water, I mean what happens, pure water is been collected. No, this is the pure water which has been collected in a separate container. Okay, and this water is called the distilled water. Okay, and distilled water is considered to be the purest form of water as it does not contain any impurities. So this distilled water, now after the condensation, so what do we get? The very purest water. Okay, because it does not contain any impurities in it. So what we have calling it as distilled water. Okay, and where it is used, children? It is used in science laboratories, car batteries and medicines. So children, so mostly we use the distilled waters in science laboratories because we do so many experiments in science labs, no? So we use them most in there, and we also use in car batteries. No, normally to cool the car. No, if the car gets heated up, there is a risk for the car. No, so that is why we use the distilled water in car batteries and also in making some medicines also. Okay, children, and apart from that, you also use the distilled water in the aquariums, fish aquariums, because the fish live in the aquariums. No, so we are going to give the fish the purest water for making it to be alive. Okay, children, and then even for watering some plants also, some type of plants also are given the distilled water. Clear? And we can also use distilled water for drinking because this is the purest water, but normally we use the filter water for drinking the most. Why? Because distilled water doesn't have that much flavor in the water, and also it doesn't have that many minerals also, because we are going to take out all the impurities. I mean that also includes some minerals. So that is why we prefer more the filter water, but we can also drink the distilled water. Clear, children? So this is what we have learnt about the water. Clear, children? So we are going to conclude here, and we have learnt about water and how it is going to be removed all the impurities, and we have also learned that we are having insoluble impurities and soluble impurities from water. Okay, children, so we are going to end up here. Hope you have understood this session, and we are going to continue in tomorrow's session with some much more information about water and air. Clear? So take care, children, and stay. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for receiving latest updates.